Wake up, Daddy's home.
I feel the need for speed.
And it's shaking big time. Damn the torpedoes! Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus.
Wait a minute. How did this guy get in here? Look at this.
Hey,
The Australian ninja himself.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. That's awesome.
That's my Joe Aro impersonation.
Wow.
You didn't. We knew that.
It is far too ornate behind you to possibly fool anyone. But it's close. It's close.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, welcome everyone to another Sunday Funday. This week we are going to talk about the cartoon and the comics. Where did we enter? Was there a point that we decided, okay, this is too much? We're done with this for now. But as usual, we can kind of go around the horn and see if anybody has anything new to show off. Max, what do you got? Anything?
I don't have anything new.
All right.
I guess I've already done the reviews of Crazy Legs. He was the most recent, and I'm finally working through my NECA toy videos. So I've got Usagi up yesterday, and then Raphael will be going up later tonight, and then I need to work on the rest. But no new figures. I did go hunting because I'd seen on Instagram that the Motu Chronicles, the movie figures, were starting to pop up. And there's a Walmart north of here that has a tendency to have most of the stuff. That's where I got the Scare Glow. And I was fingers crossing that they were going to have it. They didn't, unfortunately. So I did do a hunt today, but no such luck.
Nate.
Hey, Nate. Oh, there you go. What's up, Tony?
What's up, Tony?
You're not allowed to swear on this channel?
Huh? Max, I did like your head swap on Crazy Legs and
good.
Lifeline.
Yeah.
Lifeline looks like he's calling out for a medic. Medic! Oh wait, I am one.
Start!
Wes, are you doing your Danny Alpha One creative impersonation today? You're like,
yes, I am.
Yeah.
Bad.
His hat line is on his eye line.
I can't do that.
So Casey, you said you picked up some stuff.
I did.
Okay.
I took my wife to a town called Shelbyville, which is actually where I was born. But she wanted to go there for something. And I was driving by and I found a toy store. Hasn't been there long. But I was happy I did because I got a really good deal on a set.
Me and Big and you.
Of Captain Kirk, and a
Oh,
Gorn.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh man.
Okay.
Battle Royale.
$20 for the set.
Get out.
No, seriously,
But,
$20.
That's awesome.
What
I
line
think they're
was
the
that?
Diamond Select. Diamond Select, I
Look
think.
great.
That's what he
Wow.
said. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Articulation's pretty good. I'm still trying to, get Kirk to move around better, but I'd been happy with just the Gorn. The Gorn's awesome.
The corn looks
Nice.
I know, he's just so cool. I told my wife, I
Just-
gotta get him. He's so cute. She's
That
like,
is
I
cool.
wouldn't
Kirk's
say
shirt.
cute.
great. Yeah.
Kirk's shirt is not ripped enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
It actually, I mean, you can't get a really good look at it, but he's got a bunch
Oh,
of spots all over it,
Nice.
Let's see.
and
Okay.
he's got some face damage to where the Gorn beat the crap out of him.
When were those
A
revealed?
little gorn bite.
Yeah.
There you go. Nate has a question for you.
Girl corn.
It's the girl.
That's
The
how he
video's on
wins.
Gornhub.
Yeah.
You beat me
Oh,
to
boy.
it.
I'm not gonna get that out of my head now. Pornhub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So Wes, I know you got some interesting things in recently, right? I saw your video on the trading cards. I mean, I feel like it's probably
Yeah.
been a while, but you just did the
Yeah,
opening of them.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks ago when I got the box of goodies from Hissing Finger, and
Mhm.
thank you very much if you are watching, listening, or hearing. Yeah, it's I did my one last video of opening those up, or one of the packages up. So I'm going to do another video later this week on the other pack, because I had a lot of fun just opening it up. Gornhub.
Gorn up. Oh.
Yeah.
Somebody's got an AI a site for that now. I want to see it.
Oh
Joe
my
doesn't
gosh.
need an excuse for that shit.
I mean, on Saturday, it was just a passing mention, and all of a sudden he had a Pillsbury Green Lantern.
They say he's gonna make them too, so we'll see.
It looks neat. Uncle
Yeah.
Clutch, anything new for pickups this week?
Yep, a few
Okay,
things.
I mean,
So I
allow
took
me
a
to
chance
dig
on this. Took a chance on this bike for my Knox
Mhm.
because it looked cool as
Oh,
hell with all
nice.
the flames.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this would be a sweet ride for Torch, but it's kind of hard to tell. But the handlebars kind of close together. That's a really low seat. There's actually nowhere for them to put their feet. I was like, well, I can drill some pegs in there and take care of that. But I did sit Zorana on it as kind of like a prop bike where she's just kind of chilling with her rifle. I did the family that stays together, and was playing around with a format to do the file cards on for the custom figures. I think I got something good and blank that I can use in Canva. So, but yeah, still nice for a background bike. It's from New Ray Custom Motorcycles. Got some die cast on there. But probably won't get another one because I want bikes they can actually ride. So still back on the Marvel bikes and the McFarlane bikes for the larger characters. Something I got in the mail is kind of cool. Bloody
Yep.
Pandora.
There you go.
And I was fooling around with the Pandora that came in this week also, but she's already in a conversion process, the black leather version. Lady Spartan remarked that her hands were quite huge. She had man hands. And
She does.
that's actually
Yeah,
very
man hands.
true. I
All of
pulled
the
some
females.
female Valaverse hands, and they're smaller than her hands. So her hands rival the male figure hands. In fact, in a pinch, you could probably just switch her hands over to a male. So I was like, okay, good to know. I'm not using that on a female with a very dainty face. So the head that I put on the black leather is I think it's going to be a girlfriend or a female sidekick for Ripper. I think we're kind of going back and forth here in the household on whether that needs to be a love interest or a buddy film. So also got, I already opened these, but I'll show them to you because they're, he's always a fan favorite. I got Snake Eyes and Timber. Number 30,
Nice.
Alpha Commandos, plural. So clearly he's a commando as well, and I'm okay with it. He earned those scars on his face. And to which Lady Spartan said, "Don't you already have that wolf?" And I was like, "No." I said that was part of a custom, and his name was Grim. So no, I don't have that wolf anymore. I was like, and you can never have too many wolves. I was like, because they're good by themselves
Right.
or in a
Mhm.
pack, which she should know because she gave me this wolf signet ring. So she's in Nebraska, so I can talk all kinds of smack about her right now. If she's not online, let me double check. No, she's not.
No,
She'll be
She's
on.
lurking.
She'll be on She'll be on replay squad, so she won't be trying to play us off later and come out and say, "Why is this taking so long?" Also, when I found that Snake Eyes, I found another Zartan that I did not need, but I did need because when you're running a dreadnought crew, you can never have too many Zartans. One or two get blown up or jump into the skies. You've got others. So that is all that I have for pickups this week.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
It's a good week of pickups. Ronnie, any new classified acquisitions?
How much shit do you want to see? Because there was a toy fair here in Adelaide yesterday.
Oh, all right. Well,
How
as
much-
much as you think is interesting. I mean,
okay,
clearly
all
all of it.
This I got as a tribute to Casey.
Nice. It's
That
a
was a
good one.
cheeky $10 Australian. So what, $6 American?
Oh, nice.
Bargain.
Okie doke.
So I got Sunman. What else did I get here? Oh, look, I got to put Indiana Jones in with my Joes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
In for a cheeky tenner as well.
Nice.
What else have I got here? Oh, I want to put a stormtrooper in there too, because I got Luke and Yoda, so I'm going to put a stormtrooper in there as well. So
Cool.
another cheeky tenner. So as of the clearance king, I got GI Joe issue number 4
Whoa. Nice.
for $5 Australian. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
$5
okay.
Australian. I talked him down to
All
5.
right.
So what?
Nice.
$2.50 American. Cheap as. What else did I get? Oh, I got Hulk. I'm going to put Hulk in my cabinet too. There we go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm still going. What else I got? I got some things for some mates because mates are cool. I also got little Black Major Cobra Trooper.
Ooh.
That
He's
looks like
pretty
a
cool.
good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. I got Dusty's throwing his toys around. I got a what are these things called? Royal Guard.
Crap.
Yeah.
Roll guards. Yeah.
Crap.
Oh, bro. La, 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 la,
Nice.
la, la, la.
What else I got? Oh, look, I got all 4 Ninja Turtles as well in Super 7.
Oh wow.
Ah, okay.
There's
Nice.
Leo. Because I'm just going to put all these Easter eggs in my cabinet with my Joes. Anything 3.75, I'm buying. So if you come around my house, don't know anything about GI Joes, you might see Bart Simpson kicking around with my GI Joes or my Ninja Turtles. There's Donatello.
Nice.
Look at Raphael. There he is. These are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
I got Lady J, Super 7. She was going cheap as well.
Oh, nice.
$1.
Yeah.
And, of course, I bought some loose classifieds for about
Yes.
$10 to $15 Australian. So I got the original Flint.
Nice.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Not a bad looking
And-
figure.
No.
Yeah, no, he's cool. I'm pretty happy with that. And I got Lady J. There she is.
Yeah, gets unnecessary hate. I quite like that figure.
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah, needed someone to buff Flint. So,
Yeah.
and this dude as well.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is missing a pistol, but
Yeah.
I've been able to
Very
order
cool
one.
pistol.
Been able to order a pistol. Guess where I've ordered the pistol from?
U.S.
America.
You guys-
AliExpress.
I thought you were my friends. Yeah, AliExpress. So I've got a pistol coming on the way to complete him. Everything else is there, but this is a hot figure. This one is, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Yeah, love to see
Yeah.
That
it.
is.
Yeah, I
I'm just
love
glad
it.
you don't collect classified.
I don't collect classified. I don't collect classified like other people collect classified. I
Me
buy
either,
them
buddy.
cheap as hell. I wait
There you
until
go.
a year down the track and buy them cheap as hell because I'm the clearance king.
He-
Yeah, it is.
He,
No hair, no hair. And
Bald
Yeah,
and
that's
deadly.
that's it. So I've had a Bold and Deadly.
Nice.
all
Yeah,
right.
yep.
That
Bold
was a
and
good
Deadly.
haul.
Bold and
That was a
Deadly.
good haul.
Bold and
Oh.
Deadly. Look. No hair, no hair. Anyway, no hair, no hair. Oh,
See,
He's bald and
In
deadly.
both places.
I'm with Max.
Wow.
I don't think that's a bad looking Lady J at all.
yeah, Adam
I
told
like
me
that.
not to buy her because I was messaging Adam all day. He said, "Don't buy Lady J," but no, I went back and she was cheap, so I got her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like a cheap woman late
Oh,
on a
no.
Sunday afternoon.
Last call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the beer goggles on?
Heck yeah.
And then we went to the pub afterwards, and I had lots of beer.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, but you know what else? I got a parking fine.
What?
What?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I spent like $120 at the show, and then I come out and I've got a $120 parking fine sitting on my windshield.
Ooh.
Yeah, in Australia, you can't park on a yellow line, right? If there's a yellow line painted on the curb, you can't park on a yellow line. The thing was, it's autumn here. What you guys call fall, I think. And there's all these trees in this street that I parked on, and all the leaves are shedding. So all the leaves have turned yellow, and they've shed onto the street, and they've covered up all the yellow lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a parking fine because I didn't see the yellow lines because there's yellow leaves covering the yellow lines. So I took photos. I'm going to write to them and say, "Hey, you shouldn't be fining me because it's not my job to clean the leaves up."
As an act of God, tell him.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely was.
Parking fine coming to AliExpress soon.
I mean, I can pay the parking fine, but I'm going to make someone earn the $120 by
There
at
you
least
go.
reviewing it. So yeah.
Well, another fairly dry week. I did not get anything new since podcast from the pit. I got in some paints and some weathering things, so no need to show them again. But maybe we could jump in to the roundtable discussion of where you jumped in on the comics. Was it from the outset? Do you remember what your first G.I. Joe comic was? Max.
Yes, I had this. I love this story. I love telling this story, and because I'm a big comic fan, and was a comic collector for like decades, and it was G.I. Joe that started me off. Now, I bought it's interesting. The first comic I ever bought was a Conan the Barbarian. I was like 7 years old, and I can't believe my mother let me buy it. And then the second comic I bought was, don't laugh, but Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. Okay, nobody ever heard of that? Okay, it's probably a good
Oh,
thing.
I have. Yeah.
Okay. And then I had changed schools and made a new friend, and he had like the first like about 10 or 12 issues of the Joe comic. Now I was already into the line. I mean, I was right there at the beginning when the toy line showed up. So I had the OG 13, I had all that stuff already. So this is like 1984. And so issue 22, I went over to my friend's house. We walked down to the corner store, picked up G.I. Joe number 22, which is an odd issue to start with because it kind of wraps up this big battle. And it's right after 21, the silent issue. There's issue 20 is a standalone Clutch issue, a big battle in 19. And so this is kind of the aftermath of the big battle from issue 19. Luckily, my friend had like issue 12 up to that point. So I was able to read, kind of get caught up a bit. And but with issue 23, I was a comic fan after that. That's what got me. And so that was after that I was every month I was going to that same corner store picking up an issue. Eventually got the subscriptions, did that for like years, and then started collecting all kinds of Marvel stuff. Got into DC, and I mean, you name it. A lot of the toy line got me into the comics, like the Kenner Superpowers collection got me into DC. Secret Wars got me into Marvel. and like the broader superheroes and stuff. And then there was, of course, cartoons, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. But G.I. Joe started it off. And so last year was my Joe Fest, was the first time I ever met Larry Hama. And I brought several issues with me. So this one from the Kickstarter. So this is one of like a foil reproduction of issue 21. Got Larry to sign that. This is a facsimile edition with some updated dialogue from Larry. Got him to sign that. Let's see, an unsigned book plate from the Kickstarter from the Marvel run. Got him to sign that. And let's see. Oh, actual copies of 34, classic issue 47, one of my all-time favorite comic covers. Issue 50. And Rod Wiggum is going to be at Joe Fest this year, so I'm going to hopefully get him to sign these so I can have Larry and Rod on that. And then a few others, issue 301. So I got him to sign a whole bunch of stuff. Joe Lanta backing the Kickstarter for the Marvel run was a big deal to me. And then getting him to sign all 4 volumes at Joe Lanta, that was huge. Got to talk to him for a little bit, talked about the military and my dad's, kind of comparing notes a little bit. My dad was in Vietnam like he was, and that sort of thing. They're about the same age. So yeah, that was, and I just kind of was able to say, hey, thanks for kind of getting me into this. It's the whole reason I'm a comic fan, and got a whole shelf of hardcovers and paperbacks on the shelf of comics collection. I don't know who that is, but I will. Oh wait, no, I know who
Punk. It's Punk.
He's kind of a big
Max,
deal.
you make a habit of not knowing who people are. Shit.
No, I didn't know that was his last name. I walked around the corner and there he was, and I went, Punk.
Yeah.
He was
So you knew who Punk was?
Yeah, I knew.
Okay. All right.
So
No
let's
worries.
see.
That's fine.
Carlos jumped in.
I'm cool
doing
with that.
Skybound.
Yeah. Carlos. Yeah. Well, and that's kind of cool because my brother got me in the classified. He got me a couple of figures like Outback, Steakhouse, Storm Shadow a few years ago for my birthday. Right around the time Skybound started, picked back up with A Real American Hero. And so I've been reading A Real American Hero. So here I am 40 years later, reading G.I. Joe comics.
Yeah. How about you, Casey? Where did you?
I believe I jumped into the comic around issue 6.
Mhm.
And I was able to go back and get 1 through 5 at a flea market in Indianapolis. So, and I read it till, oh man, back when, and don't hate me, I really thought the art started to go downhill around 130. So, and I got tired of seeing Snake Eyes do everything. So I kind of got burnt out on it then. So I stopped getting it. But I have got most of them now.
Yeah.
And I got them all in trade paperback. So
Nice.
Yeah, the 4th volume's that's when it gets a little shaky, the artworks. Interestingly enough, some of the artists in the latter years went on, like their art developed, and some of them were really good Transformers artists. They worked with Transformers, and it's like their style fit that franchise a bit better.
yeah, I mean, some people just shouldn't draw G.I. Joe. I guess I shouldn't. I can't draw.
Yeah. How about you, Wes? What was your first comic recollection, if that was your thing?
It wasn't my thing, but my first comic was the Special Mission. It was in 1986. I was on my way to the airport. My parents were flying me out of the state of Kansas to go see my grandparents in Arizona, and we spent like the next 4 weeks in Arizona and California, and then drove back to Kansas, which was awful. But it was in 1986 June, and at the airport, I guess at that duty-free shop, whatever, there's a G.I. Joe comic, the first one I've ever seen, and it was special. It was the Special Mission where, I mean, it's ironic. It's where the plane gets hijacked by the terrorists, and that's my first intro to. Holy shit!
That's a
People
really
get
good one.
killed in the comics
really
here.
Yeah.
Where are the rest of these comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy kills the stewardess as she falls out. And yeah, just that panel still sticks to my till I was like, that's the way they panned that was perfect.
Mhm.
So that was my only comic I ever got of G.I. Joe as a kid. Was that Special Mission 1 or 2?
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it was
And-
it issue 50 maybe?
No,
'Cause
he's talking
50
about
had a-
special missions.
Right.
Okay.
One.
Yeah. And then I got back into the comics when I got back into collecting G.I. Joe, and basically 2019 is like, well, let me circle back and start from volume or issue number 1.
Mhm.
So yeah, as you can tell, I'm more of a
Sunbow.
I grew up Sunbow.
All right. Clutch, how about you? Were you a comic or a Sunbow or both?
Both. I didn't know if you were going to come back around for the show, so I've got everything kind of divided out here because I'm OCD like that. For the comic, so I actually came in fairly early. Number 2, August of 1982.
Mhm.
I was, I had a place where I lived in a small, safe Rhode Island town, so I could like walk to the pharmacy, and that's where I'd get my comics every month. It was right next to the store that I've talked about in the past where I got the Joes from, Zayre's. And so number 2 was, when they're in the Arctic and they're got the 4-man team. And I just thought like, okay, these guys are operating alone, or like 4 people. This is cool. I did have some issues with the fact they weren't wearing enough white, but I overlooked it. And of course, you have Quinn being introduced, which was really cool. And I thought, okay, this third-party mercenary guy, that's pretty awesome. And I was actually regaling Lady Spartan the other day with, she actually grew up liking Star Wars as well. We grew up in different parts of the country. But I told her I drafted all my Star Wars and extra figures to be a third-party mercenary group because I had to fill ranks when I didn't have enough Cobras and builder figures on my limited budget.
Yeah.
So, because we had a lot of those before the Joes hit the scene. But yeah, so I came in on number 2 for the comic, and obviously just started going monthly. It was you affordable back then and easy. I'm looking at a couple things I'm going to show you guys. 60 cents was the norm back then. So, if I watched a couple of cars, I could like go and get like, kind of like Max was talking about, like I was getting other comics, Secret Wars, Captain America, East Coast Avengers, West Coast Avengers, X-Men. So a couple that I have that are favorites, and I'm going to also try to get a signature from Larry on this. You might have to embiggen me for this to be shown.
Yeah.
I had that issue. Yeah.
This is number 8. It's actually an original one. It's in case, so I can't get it out. And they rated it at 9.6 whatever. This is one of my favorite issues because it showed how they used the entire team in like a tiered defense to protect the shuttle launch. And Cobra said, "Not today. We're still coming out of the ocean with our AT-AT Walker crawlers that they clearly stole the plans from the Empire." And Destro was like, "I can make that. Hold on." And I just thought it was interesting. Like it was an all hands on deck situation. No green shirts, which they probably could have used considering the amount of land they had to cover. So that was a favorite. I do have number 2 somewhere, but it's not like encased or anything like that. And then I eventually got number 1 so I could, read it and be whole again. This is another favorite of mine for obvious reasons. Number 51, which is basically, you've got a lot of stuff that's cool in it. Get the Thunder Machine, and it's titled that. You've got Xandar and Zorana disguising themselves and going inside of Fort Wadsworth, which for a long time as a kid I thought was a real place. I thought, that's just another military base I'm not aware of. You've got the Dreadnoks, obviously tearing things up. So that was one of my favorites. That's where I drew a lot of inspiration even today to like be, fueling the Dreadnought fire. And I can tell you guys exactly when I got out of it, because when I was looking back through my notes today, it was really interesting. I've made the quip before in the past, like, well, I stopped being interested in Joe's when I started chasing girls. Not really, because I still probably did both. I just didn't tell the girls I was, reading G.I. Joe comics and playing with toys at home. It's my business. But basically, issue number 112 May of 1991 was the last comic that I pulled and read, because in June of 1991 is when I went off to boot camp in the Marine Corps. So I obviously did not have access to a comic bookstore or a pharmacy or anything like that. And then my life became pretty jammed up with Marine Corps stuff, and I married Lady Spartan right out of the gate. I got married right when I went in the military, which I highly recommend to most people to do. It's very easy to do. There's not a lot of problems that come up at all. Just kidding. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that, kids. It's a bad idea. But yeah, so I didn't really spend any time with it after that until, recent years when I got back into it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, how about you, Ronnie?
Jesus.
Oh. What is that sound?
It'd be better
I
if your camera was
see it
actually
now.
off and that
I see
noise
it
was
now.
happening.
Look at him. Look at him. He's so gorgeous. Look
Who's
at
the noise
my
for?
God. Look at my boy. Look at my dusty boy. When did I get into the comics? In about 2020.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm serious. I didn't even know they existed. Obviously, I'm a 90s child, so and I look. Australians seem to get everything a little bit late. We got all the cartoons late. We got all the comics late. I bought a lot of GI Joes from a lad on Gumtree, which is like Facebook Marketplace. We call it Gumtree here. It was 10 minutes from my house. I went round and bought my first big lot of GI Joes from this guy. It was his childhood collection. And on the way out, he said to me, I don't know if these comics are worth anything. Do you want them? And I said, sure, why not? And the comics he had lots of doubles there, because apparently his parents bought an edition of the comic for him and his brother. And so I had double issues of like 151, 152, 153. All of the stuff that I didn't realize at the time was worth quite a bit of cash. And not that he because he just gave them to me. So that sort of started it, and ever since then I've been buying the original run. I've got everything except for 155 now. So
Nice.
done pretty good in 6 years to get the lot of them. Joe Fest really knocked the edge of it for me. I think I come back with like 30 comics or something. So yeah. So halfway through reading them, probably fair to say.
Right.
And I don't know, you tend to forget the lore pretty quickly. So I'm gonna have to go back and start again. I've got the compendiums, so read the hell out of them. But gonna have to go back a couple of times and before they sink in, because I'd imagine as a kid you'd get those comics and you would read them over and over and over and over, and the stories would be cemented in your brain. But when you're an adult and you don't learn as quickly and you've got a life and you usually fall asleep after 20 minutes of reading, it doesn't quite stick like it should. So I have a vague recollection of the lore, but I've got to have another go.
Yeah. So so for me, this was my first one.
That is a great cover.
Yeah.
It's that first full appearance of Destro, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
That is the one where he turns to Baroness and says, "Say my name." That one was picked up at a newsstand back in the day when they had those. That's funny.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I do other things besides YouTube, Lawrence.
He works for AliExpress.
I was somewhat a Sunbow kid like Wes. I had comics here and there, mostly revolving around whenever I had to get a haircut would be when I would get another comic. Now I'm working on the compendiums, which if anyone has pre-ordered a paperback compendium from Amazon, cancel it now, because they're $60 on pre-order, and within 2 weeks they will go down to $30. That is what has happened with every paperback compendium. It will go down to $30. I promise.
That's when I get them.
But
So,
will you
yeah.
get it in good shape?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was brand new, brand new.
God,
Brand
everything
new.
I get from every book I ever order, hardcover, softcover, it just seems like Amazon destroys it. I have to send it back
Yeah.
half the time.
Yeah, so so I've been going back and reading the compendiums. I mean, my favorite parts of the comics that I can remember from a kid were the behind the scenes stuff. So like the schematics of the pit. You know, you would get a schematic of the pit or a feature on a vehicle or one of the file cards that they would put in the order of battle later on. So the order of battle books I have from when I was a kid, that was one that I had to have all of the order of battle books because it was all the details on your favorite vehicles and your favorite Joes and Cobras. And I was definitely into as much knowledge as I can get on them. And it just gave more detail than what Sunbow was giving us, right? Because Sunbow, you know, you only got to see so much, right? So, but I do remember that one, and I will try and get Larry to sign that and my omnibus when I go down this year to Joe Fest. So,
Yeah.
Joe,
but yeah.
on your favorite issue there, I actually kind of how Wes pointed out that the stewardess panel sticks with him. There's actually a part of your favorite issue there that's has stuck with me for a while, and it kind of goes to something else that's like important in my life. And it was when Destro is basically leading the troops to get ahead of the APC, and he's telling them it's 10 miles by road, but it's 5 miles as the crow flies, and we're gonna run it. And the Cobra Troopers are like, "What's with this guy? Like he's running us at a death pace." And I just remember as a kid when I read that, I thought, "Okay, this dude's a badass, and he's running in a metal mask. That's got to be hot. He's gonna be a problem later on, right?" Like I just was like, if they were trying to embolden that guy as a heavy hitter down the line, he just was like, "Cobra Commander, I got this for you. I'm gonna handle this. We're going to paratroop 20 of your guys in, and I'm going to damn near kill them to get them to the ambush. Then we're going to do." And I was just like, whoa, because I was like, and later on, I became very much into fitness and everything. And I just remember like thinking like, yeah, running overland is no joke. And the dude is just like, the boots don't even look comfortable. So yeah, I've never forgotten that part of that. I couldn't tell you a whole lot about the rest of it. I know they were there on a mission and they were in the APC and all that, but I know that Destro was about getting there ahead of the Joes, and he didn't care who died on the way.
Well, and at the time of this issue, Destro was looking to take over Cobra at that point too. So like there was that whole underpinning of he's not really in it. Like he's not in part of the team. He's there. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy for now, But I think the other thing that struck me with that issue was the fact that it was another Cobra plot gone bad out of the 187 total Cobra plots against the world of, injecting this Cobra trooper, sending him back to the Joe base, and the guy gets 3 steps away from the table that he injected him, and and that was it. Plan's over.
Yep.
So
I think at one point too, Destro even says to one of the Cobra officers, if anybody falls behind, drop back and shoot them. Which is a pretty adult theme, like, hey, if this guy can't make the run, like we just got heckled in the Rangers, like they might throw you over someone's shoulder and carry you to embarrass you or heckle you later, but there was none of that. They weren't like, if that dude can't run, we're taking him out, like get rid of him.
Yeah.
So for people that got away from the comic book that were collecting it, was it a content issue, a phase of life issue? What stopped it? I mean, I know Clutch kind of got into his a little bit. How about you, Max and Casey?
Yeah, for me it was I looked getting caught up reading the compendiums last year. I stopped right at I guess it was like the 25th anniversary. It was like issue 86, I think is what it was, when Joe Colton made a return. That was the last issue that was the last issue of my subscription, and I just didn't renew it. And when Battle Force 2000 showed up, that's when I was starting to kind of like, things are getting a little ridiculous here. And I really wasn't liking the art. I've since kind of, as I've read, I wish I had stayed with it a bit longer. Definitely the last 3 years are kind of the shakiest. I probably would have stopped somewhere around issue 130 anyway, but I wish I had gone a little further because the art does get better. Ron Wagner and Rod Wiggum weren't on it as much, but Mark Bright, who is another great Marvel artist, he did a really great run on Iron Man, Green Lantern. He comes on. But yeah, that's right when I stopped, and it largely was the art. And because at the time, this was right around the time you had Mark Silvestri on X-Men, I think Todd McFarlane on Spider-Man, and somewhere around in there. And so it was just kind of like I'm being blown away by all this other stuff, and it just kind of seemed like the G.I. Joe just wasn't getting the love that other more popular titles were getting, which is kind of sad in and of itself, because G.I. Joe had been a really good seller for Marvel, despite the fact it was just a toy tie-in comic. So, but at any rate, that's kind of, from between 22 and 86, that was where I was at until the compendiums, the Kickstarter. I only learned about the Kickstarter by happenstance, and never backed a Kickstarter before. So now that I got those compendiums, I'm very happy with them, and so glad that and reading through the whole run, issue 2 was fantastic. And it's kind of funny, Clutch, that you had that one. That's where you started, because when I got into it, that was like one of the rarest comics at the time. It was hard to find, and it was going for a lot of money. I mean, for early 80s money, it was like $50 or more, maybe even more. Like 100, something like that, because it was really hard to find. And I don't think I've ever even seen a first print of it. I've only ever seen facsimiles or second or third or fourth print. So, but
that's
then
one
reading
thing that's interesting.
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
one thing that's interesting too about Rhode Island is, that's where a lot of that stuff originated from, the toy line. And so we actually had a lot of comic shops back then. There's not as many now. I was up there just about a year or so ago, but yeah, you had the military base had access to, a lot of different titles. You had several comic book shops. I mean, you could get, the hardcore, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back then. So yeah, it was pretty much, there was a lot of good stuff that you could just like walk into a store and get, and there was competition, so the prices were not bad.
Yeah, we didn't have, my little hometown didn't have, it was a few years before we got a comic shop, and they were in business for about 5-6 years, and then another one showed up, and they were in business for about another 5 or 6 years, and then basically this big one in a neighboring town opened up, and it just wiped out the competition. That was the place you had to go. But yeah, for years I just went to this little, it was called Tommy's Sure Save. It was a little gas station, convenience store on the corner right in the neighborhood where my friend lived, and that's where I went. That's where I got my comics every time. Or the spinner racks in what was it, Big B drugstore. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Big B. But yep. So get them off the spinner rack there.
And Casey, you said it was a quality issue for you.
The art just got to where it was just terrible, and I hated that because I've loved G.I. Joe since '82, and I actually got to work for 6 years at a comic book store in my hometown. Just like 2 days a week.
In the world.
Oh, it was awesome. They didn't pay me.
Did you make any money, or did you owe money at the end?
No, I got paid. I got paid in store credit.
He left the store owing about $700 in debt, and
I got store credit, and I got everything for cost. So at that time, a $1.50 comic was 75 cents for me. Or
Oh,
if
wow.
I bought
Nice.
any, like magic cards or something like that, I got it for cost.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of fun. I miss it all the time. The people I worked for were amazing,
Mhm.
but all good things,
Yeah.
Just like the art was, towards the end was just horrible.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, but when IDW took over, it got better.
Mhm.
Yeah. I cannot wait to get the next the IDW continuation, because I haven't read the whole run. I've read maybe the first 30 issues of it. It's so much better in the sense
Mhm.
that kind of feel like Larry Hama, he doesn't have to tie in any new vehicles, or he can use what he wants. No new designs, anything like that. He's just telling the story he wants to tell, and it's just what I've read has been really, really enjoyable.
And he spotlights characters that don't always get spotlights.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah. I do wish that Skybound would start special missions again, because I did specifically ask Larry that at Joe Lanta, and he's like, I would do it in a heartbeat, but they have no plans to do it right now. So, which is a shame, because I did
Yeah.
like special missions.
Yep.
So, for those of us that were not deeply ingrained in the comics, how about Sunbow? Did everybody watch Sunbow? And do you remember what if not your first, what your favorite episode it might have been? Maybe we'll start with Wes. He hasn't gotten a chance to talk much here yet.
Favorite episode? Wow. There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see here. The Synthoid Conspiracy definitely is one. Worlds Without End. That was actually that. Man, that's a good one too. Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
But the Worlds Without End was dark.
Yeah.
And for Sunbow at the time, because a lot, the antics and everything of Sunbow was just the buffoonery of Cobra. This took it to a whole different, deep, dark level. And as a kid, I loved it. I was like, why can't all the episodes be like this gritty? And I mean, it was still kind of straight laced, but they peeled back a little bit to go that way, to go dark. But yeah, the Synthoid Conspiracy, even though that's kind of goofy, but and then the Welcome to Springfield, the two-parter with Shipwreck and Mara.
There's no
yeah.
place like
that one.
Springfield.
Yeah.
There's no place like
Place
Springfield.
like
Yes,
Springfield. Yeah.
Mara.
Mara.
Yeah, Mara.
She's got gills.
She's got. Yeah, those were I mean, a handful of my favorite ones that I can think of, just coming home after school, and I think Transformers was on first, and then G.I. Joe. I think other way around, but yeah, it was yeah, I never watched Deke. Never got into Deke, thank God. Didn't
Ronnie
waste
loves
hours
the Deke,
doing
though.
that. Yeah, we got
Ronnie
Ronnie
is
in here because he loves the Deke. That's the only reason why he's on here. But I'm supporting you, brother. But yeah, so those are my handful of my favorites, and it started. I don't know if I started watching it when it first came out in '83 with the Mass Device. And because everything was syndicated for that cartoon, so I don't know if it may not have been on the airwaves where we were at, and I just I always thought the Mass Device, Revenge of Cobra, the first two miniseries, '83 and '84, were all like part of season one, and it wasn't until many years later when I figured out that, oh, well, the Mass Device came out in '83, Revenge and Cobra came out in '84, which also was kind of weird because it came out in September of '84, but had Flint, Lady J, Crimson Guard, Dreadnoks. It had quite a bit, had a flight pod. It had quite a bit of the '85 stuff already ready to go in that cartoon. When the '85 stuff wasn't out yet. So just kind of there's some questions there, like when the stuff was being thought of, and when the cartoon was getting written, and how advanced did they have some of this stuff in advance? Kind of like on the Mass Device, they had a Rattler there, I think I can't remember which episode of the Mass Device, but it was a very crude drawing of the Rattler because they didn't have the final, it was kind of like the concept of it. Hey, give us an A10 that's vertical and it does this, they didn't actually have the actual Rattler yet. So they just kind of whipped it because, yeah, like I said, that was '83. Rattler came out in '84. So
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on.
No, I'm with you. I think for me, there's probably a couple as well. Like again, Worlds Without End, Nightmare Assault was huge for me, and I think that one was a bit more mature themed because you were dealing with low lights, childhood trauma, and
He's seen some shit.
oh yeah,
It's like, talk about childhood abuse. My gosh, his father was a monster.
or
Go ahead.
even computer complications when, even as a kid, you're like, I think Mainframe and Zorana might be getting it on. Like,
I love that.
What is going on there?
Read between the lines here.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and the Trader really had me convinced. I was little. I was little.
I was going to say the Trader. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Trader. Yeah. Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, to me, it was, yes, there was like to Wes's point, a lot of buffoonery and a lot of other stuff, but it was also, and maybe for being a kid, because some of them are hard to watch now that you're older, right? But not as hard as the Deke. The Deke is pretty hard. That's what I heard.
Deke is hard. Deke is hard, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Just on Sunbow, one of my favorite episodes is Cobra Claw's coming to town because
that's another one.
Polly being expanded to the size of a hot air balloon. Quite funny.
Yes.
Jingle bells.
Just like I reckon the whole series, just the playoff between Polly and Shipwreck, and Shipwreck's voice. The guy who voiced Shipwreck, just amazing. So
yeah.
Which to me, I don't know why, but season one, the '85 season, I liked better than the '86. There was something that just wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was growing out of it, but I watched cartoons all the way in through high school. It's not like I was like growing out of it, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that I always just cherished the '84 and '85 lines. Maybe I don't know. I just
did you not like it that they were centering more on just a few characters at a time in that season versus like large scale teams and battles?
Yeah, like so in '86,
it would also be like a showcase, right? Like there'd be like 3 or 4 major characters and a few pop-ins in that season. But like the first season was a lot of the team and not a lot of highlighting of certain members. It was integration.
But I also think that was more of them trying to, because they got to make up for '84 and '85, get everything thrown into that. There's a lot of vehicles. And heck, they're still showcasing the Sky Striker and the Dragonfly because it was still available to purchase in '85, even though those are '83 vehicles. So I think there's a lot of figures that they had or characters that they had to showcase where '86 is '86 and let's kind of weed out everybody else and focus, Conquest, the Tomahawk, and the Night Raven, and then all the main characters and stuff. And just like that low light special, like there was quite a bit of Joe characters featured in that of the new But then the art, Casey, you talked about the art of Sunbow, and you can even find this in the Transformers cartoon, just the mistakes. And even as a kid, I was catching this. Maybe it was because I was watching it for the third, fourth, fifth time. And like the pictures I sent you guys today, just like going, are you kidding me? This made it past quality control for the, I was like, I know they got to throw all this shit together and make this series because there's close to 40 episodes in each season, but holy cow, some of those drawings and how many people can fit in a dragonfly. On one of the episodes, the dragonfly has a side door with a winch. It's like a Huey or Blackhawk / Viper Cobra type of helicopter.
Yeah. It was whatever the story required.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I think sometime back in the fall we were showing pictures, and there was like 4 different versions of Duke and one like horribly deformed Duke, like all in the same frame. Like it was just the same guy, like over and over and over again.
Hasbro decided to go ahead and make that version of Duke a few years ago. Stroke face.
Streaming head.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what my least favorite Sunbow episode is?
Sure.
Yeah.
The most dangerous thing in the world. That's my least favorite. Because Dial Tone was my first G.I. Joe. And in the most dangerous thing in the world, which I think is the name of the episode, Cobra hacks G.I. Joe's system and basically reverses the G.I. Joe hierarchy and puts Dial Tone in charge. And Dial Tone was a bungling idiot. He was an absolute tool. And I was like, Dial Tone's my G.I. Joe. What are you making him look like an idiot for? So that's my least favorite episode.
Well, and it's because
Shipwreck got promoted in that one too.
Yeah. It's like
it was a disaster.
And Lifeline, I think, and so Lifeline had.
It was all 3.
I remember. It's like Hawk said something at the end that has stayed with me. He's like, some people have the desire but not the ability. Some have the ability but not the desire, and some have neither. And so, and he looks at Shipwreck now. It's funny.
And then he rescued a kid from a fridge or something, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's because of the cartoon that I didn't like Shipwreck, because they made him such a moron. I mean, he starts out kind of like this action hero guy, then he becomes this goofball, and that's why I didn't like him. But my brother loved him because our dad was a sailor, and so. But I hated Shipwreck because of how he made the Navy look. And so in the cartoon. So it's like, and why is he in so many dang episodes? So
So my favorite is The World Without End. I love that 2-parter. I listening to Word Burglar's album. He's got the song called The Wrong Ralph Pulaski, which is all about that. And just out of the blue, I messaged him, tell him how much I like that song, and he was like, "That's the best 2-part G.I. Joe episode I ever seen." And we carried on a good conversation about that for a long time, and it really is straight from that episode. So if you guys have not checked it out, you really should. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I need to. Like I said, I was more into the comic. That's my preferred continuity.
Me too.
I mean, I watched every episode of the G.I. Joe up until the movie. Saw a little bit of the Deke series, but
you what?
I watched.
How much of it?
I was waiting.
Just a tip.
I just. You walk right into it.
You saw just a little bit of Deke.
Just a little bit of the Deke. Well, it was a little Deke.
Oh, excuse me. I'm all about the Deke. Honestly, I'm all about the Deke. And I'm talking about the cartoon. There is an episode of Deke where Pathfinder and Ambush fight off a crowd of night creepers with hot pies in a bakery.
Oh my god!
What? So you guys that know the cartoon the best, what was the episode where it was like a blob? Cobra creates like a blob, and they have to kill it with apples, and they're like launching apples at it through the All-Striker. you know, and
Oh yeah.
And
That
Eric
was-
Heights in it.
he's like, he keeps throwing
Yeah.
them, and he's like, this is
That's
your
season
Waterloo!
1.
And finally he throws the last one, and it explodes.
I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
The germ.
The
germ.
greenhouse
Germ.
effect. Oh, was it
Greenhouse
that?
effect?
Yeah.
The germ. Okay.
Okay.
That was
No, it was the greenhouse effect. When the Joes and
Okay.
Cobra find out that the nitrogen fuel that was stolen from the Joes can also fuel the growth of fruits and vegetables. Is that the one that you're thinking of, Joe?
No, I remember that one because that
Max?
isn't
Oh,
that
okay.
one where they. Like, I think that was a Wild Bill episode, like a centric episode, where they go to like some kind of county fair and Cobra's causing all kinds of vegetables and growth and stuff, and they're having to fire their lasers at plants and. Maybe
Some
I'm
of the
remembering
titles. Some of the titles, like "Lasers in the Night."
They were doing a lot of cocaine back in the 80s.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I mean,
cocaine era was huge. Even cartoon people were able to afford it.
yeah.
No, so I
Oh,
actually
well.
share.
There were drugs in the Deke series. Just
Yes, there was.
Yep.
yes,
Yeah.
Falcon
Head
didn't-
man.
Falcon-
Falcon was an
Become a
addict. He was
drug-
doing some serious. Yeah, sorry, Uncle Clutch. Go on, mate.
I share my least favorite with Ronnie, and definitely when those three got promoted to colonel, I was just like, oh, what the hell? Because you had pacifist lifeline, and my dad was like a career sailor, so like I wanted shipwreck to be better too, because I was like, okay, my dad's more badass than this guy, and he's not even allowed to have a beard. So and then of course, dial tone, you had like the techie nerd, the pacifist, and like the goof off were promoted to colonels, and I was like, this feels like what the military would do. Like, this doesn't even seem like a Cobra thing, like this just seems like defense, finance, and accounting would just do this and be like, we'll figure it out, So I was like,
Is Hormuz open? Is it not open?
Yeah.
Is it open? Is it not open?
and then they probably, when they fixed it, they just kept paying them at that rank and didn't say anything. And I share one of my two favorites with Wes. Which one was it? I'm having one of those brain locks. Not Worlds Without End.
There's no place like Springfield?
No Place Like Springfield. Thank you. Yes, because when that came on, it was really trippy to me that they were going to all this trouble and had built this whole scenario just to extract the information, but then they were also torturing him in between. And it seemed like a lot of the 80s TV shows that were out at that time were they were somewhat fringing on that Twilight Zone vibe that had carried over from the 70s. And I like Worlds Without End too. I mean, I think that's just a classic everybody likes, but that one I was just kind of I was really when's part 2 coming? I gotta know what's gonna happen, is this thing gonna swallow him up? Is he gonna die? What's gonna happen? And I thought his parrot was annoying before, but the evil parrot, I just want to kill that bird.
Yeah.
But no, my other favorite is from '86, and it's because it's got an interesting tie, I feel like, to an early comic. So Rotten Egg, in '86 basically features Leatherneck going to a graduation of a new academy, they call it, and it's all these military graduates. So they find out it's being run by a guy who got a dishonorable discharge, and it's secretly a Cobra Academy. And I don't know, it just kind of for me, it was kind of a throwback to G.I. Joe Marvel comic number 4, where they infiltrate the militia camp, and it's supposed to be this militia, but they're really getting funded by Cobra. Yep, exactly. That's when he held that up. I was like, that's another favorite right there. And Grunt and Hawk are we got to slow down. We're beating all these guys and not even trying, and they're running. And Snake Eyes, he's in the tree watching everybody. He's got the cool gig, right? He's got his notebook, and he's like, day 1, Hawk and Grunt failing miserably at looking weaker than everyone else. And I was like, this dude's shit talking. He's shit talking in a notebook. It's an official document, dude. So yeah, that was interesting how they had their own B-52 Stratofortress, and I was like, where'd you steal that from? That's somebody's got to know that's missing. So I always was the one with all that military knowledge I was cramming in my head. I was always questioning things. I would have been the one in the in the room with all the writers going, yeah, but I don't know about this. And I've been like, look, kid, just sit down. We're going to make it happen. Give him a little hit, he'll calm down.
It's take this baggie.
Yeah. Go clean our trash, kid.
Have fun. have fun with this baggie of white powder. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Well, it's but yeah, one of the things about the comic that I'm thankful now that I've read the whole Marvel run. The big question and the thing that I couldn't remember into adulthood was how exactly does a terrorist organization like Cobra, which is homegrown in America, how does it even how does it do what it does? How does it operate the way it does? All the battles, like the big battle of Springfield in issue 50, it's like, but there is an effort to explain how they operate and why they get away with what they get away with. So, I mean, it still sounds a little implausible, but at the same time, it's like, well, at least they tried and did address it. So,
Max,
it's
I
kinda like,
question if they're even legit a terrorist organization. That's always been a question I've had. Is the
well,
definition of terrorist? They're more like an illegal army or like a paramilitary organization. Like, you think of terrorists, like they're putting a bomb in a baby carriage and rolling it down a hill at some soldiers. Like Cobra's got
right.
like totally different goals. They've got uniforms. They got like a pay structure, a rank structure. They've also got hired guns they bring in. They got these dreadnought dudes who just do what they want. If I was a Viper, I'd be like, why can't I dress like those guys? This is bullshit. What are they getting paid? Like I'd feel like the whole organization would be falling apart just when the dreadnought showed up. I'd be like, hey, I want to wear a cut in half t-shirt. Why can't I do that? No, just show up and put your silver helmet on. We got a battle to lose.
Yeah.
So,
well, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
One of the because of the Kickstarter, they're interviewing Larry Hama a little bit, so you might have seen those on YouTube. One of the more recent ones, he was talking about Cobra Commander. He's like, he's a villain who's not in it for the ideology; he's in it for the money. And so that's the thing. It's like he's not really trying. You're right. It's not really a terrorist organization. It's just it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a get rich quick scheme. So it just kind of took on a life of its own.
He doesn't ever live very nice though. He wears the same uniform. He's never got like a Mai Tai or any ladies. He doesn't drive a nice car. He's just always brooding.
Yeah.
Like if you're at the top of the pyramid, like I want to see some bennies,
Yeah.
I'm just a greedy American.
That's funny. That's funny.
I said I wanted to. I didn't say I have.
Yep. I love one of my favorite t-shirts. Cobra is hiring. Or like a Cobra logo, like we're hiring.
As long as it wasn't a mesh half shirt, like the true 80s.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Bring those back, please.
But the mark of delineation kind of was that G.I. Joe movie between Sunbow and Deke, and that was kind of the end of the era for Sunbow. Now, that seems to be more polarizing than I think it should be, but there are people that really can't stand Cobra La, and there are people that are like, it's not so bad, or people that enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie then, and I enjoy it now. I see Casey's disgust in the corner.
It wasn't my thing. Maybe it's because in '87 I was 15, so not my thing. I love Cobra La now, what they're doing in Energon. So it just depends on how they're done.
Right.
Like you put in the chat for the topics, the jumping the shark. I mean, every episode in Sunbow could be a jump the shark with all the just wild ideas. But to me, it was definitely the movie. Because I had no idea that was coming.
Right.
I mean, they already did part one of Jump the Shark with creating a character out of DNA. And I was like, okay.
That was awesome though.
I'll go with that. And because I mean that was a Sarge heavy. That was this Sergeant Slaughter, big time player in the '86 season 2 series. And that was the other thing. Like, so '86, we get Serpentor. All right. And thinking about it today, I was like, well, I actually had Serpentor before that came out. So when we got our toys, maybe he debuted before that cartoon in the comic.
He did.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
What?
Yeah, he did. Serpentor.
Yeah.
Issue 49.
Yeah,
At the
yeah,
end?
49, 47, yeah, 48, 49, yeah. And then he's like instrumental in issue 50 in the Battle of Springfield.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
because some of the headcanon, as a kid, when you're playing with your figures, you're either like reading the file card, developing the character from the file card, reading the comic, developing how they act in the comic, or the cartoon, which, when I saw Lieutenant Falcon, I already had Falcon before I had seen the movie. And to me, Lieutenant Falcon was a badass because he had a beret. Anyone who wears a beret is a badass. And I was like, okay, so this is the next Flint because he has a beret. He's the next leader. So he's going to take charge and kick some ass. And then he's just a screw up, wanting to get his hands all busy with Jinx in the cartoon. So messing up everything. But so that kind of, spoiled my thing with the movie, and then introduced the bugs and the spores.
Yeah.
And, but now, like Casey,
Nobody's mentioned the Fatal Fluffies yet.
yeah, that was all right. Phil. That was all right. I mean, who doesn't want to ride a four-wheeler in 0G gravity?
Would be fun.
Yeah, the dreadnought parts are cool. I just wasn't about those creatures.
What was the episode where it's Leatherneck and Wetsuit, and it's like the Space Needle, I think, gets turned into a rocket, and the restaurant gets blasted into space, and they have to
Red Rocket's Flare.
Yeah,
maybe.
Red Rockets.
That was
What was what was that episode even about? All I remember is like
Roadblock's
Wetsuit saying he
Kitchen.
can hold his breath for 4 minutes, but he goes out with like a bag on his head in outer space, and he doesn't blow up. He doesn't have a spacesuit on.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he held his
I-
breath.
Yeah, right.
These could give you some misguided ideas about life. I told y'all when I went to become a ranger, I was wondering when I was going to get a baklava and a cool vest, and I got a beret, but we weren't allowed to wear them. And when we were training, but I was like, so we don't wear the ski mask. So yeah, the people who went into science, they were probably like, oh man, all that stuff was just bullshit.
Well, my brother, he was inspired by MacGyver to become a chemical engineer, and then he grows up and rewatches the reruns, and he's like, "This is all BS." Completely betrayed.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Would they say that they always left out one component of his mixtures and recipes so that people could not redo it at home? I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, the fatal iceberg. Was it a whale? Wasn't it a killer whale or something?
Yeah,
An orca.
An orca.
Clutch. I think that was also the same theory behind the whole Heisenberg meth thing on Breaking Bad. They're not going to tell you everything.
Right.
Making meth.
People are at home like this. They're like,
All right. This makes sense.
well, rewind that.
But yeah, so I think as far as comics and the cartoon series, it sounds like we all had very different but very valid reasons. I mean, Deke is enough to turn anyone away at a certain age.
Operation Dragonfire was good.
I think I recall that one.
Take your word for it.
That was the very first Deke. It was our miniseries. That was pretty good. Everything after that was
So
pretty bad.
unwatchable.
the intro was kind of cool, right? The intro to the Deke series cartoon was kind of cool.
Is that
the
kind
got
of
to get tough one?
I mean, I said the intro. I didn't say the song. It shows the general moving around. So
Yeah.
Just like the intro to the movie, it's a 3-minute intro.
Mhm.
I mean, they had to kill time.
Yeah. I love that intro to the movie though. And I did think when I was a kid and they televised the movie, I thought that was, I mean, it was a big deal.
Uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
mean, I didn't immediately hate Cobra Law as I grown older. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just not my favorite, but the intro is a banger. I still love it to this day, but
Mhm.
like, kind of like what Casey was saying, the Energon universe and the way they're integrating all of that,
Yeah.
they're doing it very well. It's making sense. I like that version of Cobra Commander, and it's like, okay, it's starting from the ground up, taking all of these different concepts and trying to integrate it. It's the storytelling is just it's really really good. So, but yeah, it's always going to be the comic for me, and
Mhm.
the cartoon. It didn't. It I think Dan Larson did an episode, So Secret Galaxy, talking about it, that because Transformers the movie didn't do so well,
Yep.
they didn't release the G.I. Joe movie in the theaters, and they had to change the idea of Duke dying and everything, and it was all deliberately to, they deliberately were killing off the old guard in order to bring in new characters. But kids, I mean, it didn't really bother me that Optimus Prime got killed. I mean, apparently it traumatized a bunch of kids, but it didn't really, didn't really bother me a whole lot.
Damn pussy. Grow
But
up.
it's kind of like killing off Duke. They're like, okay, we got to rethink this. But I will say this: a couple of years ago, they did. I missed the day when they finally released it in theaters for like one night only, and I completely missed it. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
day late and a dollar short. I would have gone to see it, even though it's like not my favorite thing, just to say, yeah, I watched it in the theaters for the one and only time.
I was at Joe Fest when they did that. I didn't go to it, but I remember everybody's like, "Hey, we're gonna go see the movie." I'm like,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's a couple of years ago, I think,
yeah.
2 or 3 years ago.
So with everybody talking about how they like how Energon has intertwined some of those themes and everything, Ronnie, do you guys get the newer comics on time, or are you weeks behind, or are you
Now we
paying
get them
any
about the same
attention to
time.
them?
Yep, we get them
Okay.
about the same time, but nowhere near as readily available as what they are over there. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I think we've got one comic shop in town. It's in the middle of the city. It's hard to get to. Can't find them anywhere else.
Understandable. So Ronnie's waiting on the compendiums.
Yeah, I suppose.
Worth the wait.
Well, my dog's just been going kamikaze.
You're always talking to that box, Dad. You're always talking to that box.
So I guess for next week we have an interesting topic, at least I think, in these slower news times before Yojo June. We're going to be talking about the best TV series, and we're going to throw up a bracket, kind of NCAA
Bracket style.
Final Four, Sweet 16 kind of bracket, and that's what we'll be talking about next week. Where can everybody find everybody this week? We'll start with Max. You said you had a couple of reviews and stuff coming out this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So about 45 minutes from now, my Raphael video will go live. I
Nice.
decided to wait until after we were done, but then hopefully throughout the week I'll get the other 3 Turtles reviews up. So got the intros recorded, but I got to do the actual reviews. So, but other than that, maybe a couple of comic related stuff I'll talk about at some point. And then don't forget, I mean, if you guys are really on the fence, or here we are talking about the compendiums. If you're into the comics, you want to get the hardcovers, I think Tuesday at midnight it's done. So you can get the Marvel run, or you can get all 8 volumes, the Marvel and the continuation from IDW. So you can also just back the PDFs if you want just the digital copies. So just letting people know that it's out there. I can't wait to get that continuation because there's some good stuff there.
Nice. Casey, what do we got coming up from Podcast from the Pit Night Shift?
Wednesday, me and you will have Nate, the Retro Tinker, on. We're going to talk about his channel. He does amazing stuff, and he's so nice. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time. And, of course, next Saturday, Podcast from the Pit. No clue what we're doing yet. It'll be fun, though.
Yes.
It will be entertaining.
Yeah.
Always fun. Wes, what do you got coming up?
Sometime this week. I'm probably going to have it ready by Saturday because I think that's when my last video I posted this last Saturday of opening up that little card pack from 1991. I'll be opening up the second one and might do a little bit more research in it because I have no idea about those. And what's cool though is the people that do, they definitely left some of the comments in the last video about it. So that's always cool. I love it when the viewers can drop some knowledge in there. Plus they get a shout out on my next video. But yeah, so I'll have a video up next Saturday of me opening up that second pack.
Very cool.
So I will watch the first one tomorrow at work.
Cool.
It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Wes does a great job.
Joe Hunter 73, YouTube it.
Nice. Uncle Clutch.
Oh yeah,
what do you got
that's right.
coming up?
So I will probably this week be dropping a couple of breakdown videos for some recently completed figure projects. I will be recording Workbench Warfare for you all to use next Sunday. We didn't have one this week, but I will not be on next Sunday. I've got a Black Keys concert I'm going to with Lady Spartan. So we've had that in the pipeline for a while, trying to do more concerts in our new life. So we're going to that Sunday, and we got to get down to Atlanta, wherever that's playing. So I'll have that sent to Joe, and I'll be there in spirit. And I'll probably catch Casey because I'm not working Saturday morning. This past Saturday, I was working at the old part-time gig. So I tuned in, said hello. And then when my first 15 was up, I was like, all right, I got to turn this off and go back. And I just I kept checking in, looking at comments in between doing my work. So, but yeah, I'll be able to catch it. Because like when we're both home, we just get up and kind of have our coffee and turn it on the TV and watch those two do their thing. So
nice.
Man, thanks.
And cool. I'll probably catch you on Wednesday as well, Casey, because I tend to stay up way too late when I'm here by myself. Usually I'll get on a project behind me and I'll be like, oh shit, it's midnight, I gotta go to bed.
I think it's going to be a good one. Nate's awesome, so it should be a good time.
Cool.
Very cool. And Ronnie, what do you got coming up?
Well, can I talk about what I've done?
Yeah.
There's lots of people in this chat that I don't think are subscribed to my channel. So please go and subscribe to me because my shit's awesome.
Check out
It is indeed.
But last Saturday, obviously, did the latest edition of the G.I. Joe game show, which was amazing. It was so funny. It's always funny. It's always heaps of fun. I think Max and Wes were my original contestants, and I had a great time. And it's just snowballed from there. There's a huge lineup of people that want to. Yep, nunchuck. So please subscribe to me. Go and watch that video. That was
done.
I'm hoping to record some stuff this afternoon. The other night, Casey messaged me in the middle of the night and wanted me to resend the intro that I sent to him, which I did in the pitch black in my spare room. And on the way out, on the way out of the room, I tripped over the cord to my favorite headset. And that's the one with the microphone that I use for my videos, and it yanked it out of the back of the computer and broke them. I was like, ah! So I have bought a new lapel mic. That's all right. Just bring a video out at some point, Casey. Anyway, I brought a new.
It's almost ready. It's almost ready.
Okay, I bought a new lapel mic, so it's currently on charge. I'm going to test it out this afternoon. Maybe open some more toys this afternoon, and then I've got a couple of live streams coming up. Going to try and start up again with Jetman and the special mission stuff. And
oh, cool! Yeah,
Talking about Nate, me, and Johnny Sorensen, we're planning a stream where we're going to talk about the most borrowed library books from the school library when we were kids. So that should be cool as well. So,
I just
yeah,
shared
funny
your YouTube link, Ronnie. A couple
Thank you.
people
Thank
are
you so much.
asking. So there you go.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
You should subscribe to everybody's channel on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure.
Dave C., you got it, sir.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. It
Yeah.
was fun as always, and we'll see what we come up with for next week for the best TV series.
I would love
Of
to see
all
what
time.
the chat thinks is the best
Yeah.
TV series next week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, drop-
Let us know.
Deke all the way.
I'm going to make
Follow
that
us all
shirt.
on Instagram too.
Yes.
Deke
We're
is
all
not
on
for pussies.
What?
I absolutely.